Okay, wait. There are a number of good adventure shorts called The Smiling Man, so let's clarify what we're talking about here. This award-winning Smiling Man was directed by A.J. It's about the Bryans and an unnamed little girl who is home alone and suddenly stumbles across a bunch of balloons displayed around the house. As she chases after the balloons and descends, the little girl meets face to face like a terrified man. There are no words to describe the creature's anxious nightmare in this film. It is one of the most dangerous adventure creatures in recent memory, and if ever given a feature treatment, it could become a new icon of adventure cinema. The Smiling Man certainly makes sense, and it will stay with you once you see it.
Directed by Rob Blackhurst, this 2014 action thriller tells the story of a young woman, named Anne, who is a bit overwhelmed by the busy and fast-paced daily life of New York City. Anne, who is constantly stressed at work and at home, decides to go on a solo trek alone to keep quiet and recharge her batteries. We wait for her to spend a peaceful day in the mountains before she realizes that an incredible mistake has been made all the time. It is a slow, quiet and intelligent film that does a wonderful job of trapping you in a fake security. It uses no fear and noise to get you, and the grind alone cools your spine, making it seem like a troublesome, realistic moment that could happen to anyone in real life.
Inspired by the epic story of the two famous sentences, directors Matt Sears and Tim Knight bring out the coolest cool adventure shorts ever made. I Heard It Too is the story of a little girl named Stephanie who wakes up in the middle of the night and talks to her over and over again from her mother's mouth. Confused, she gets up to go to her, but as soon as she reaches the stairs, her mother grabs her and takes her to another room. She grabs Stephanie's hand and now the famous line tells her, "I heard it too." The following is an intense and dangerous quest to find out who, or what, called below. Whether it's his shorts, Ski, Give Her Back or award-winning Charlie Boy, Matt Sears has done an incredible amount of work for adventure. That being said, I have heard, it is the greatest work of his genre, a sign that we can all expect more from him in the future. The film is placed on the edge of your seat from the beginning and is not allowed to move until it is finished. This bizarre and disturbing film is written and directed by Janina Gavankar, Star Wars, True Blood, The Morning Show, and stars her in the lead role. New home while trying to hang a work of art. She realizes that the wall hides what looks like a secret room, but she no longer wants to break it down. As she waits to get the original plan of the house, strange things start to happen to Jay, And soon, her mind begins to overwhelm what can be hidden behind the wall. Levanker's Innocent Direction won her the SXSW 2020 Special Jury Prize and a great tribute to both her writing and her acting. Stucco is raw, not monotonous and as unusual as a movie. Another recognition of modern psychological terror. Don't miss this. Emma, a lonely and sad woman trying to navigate the loss of her husband John, fixes a new antique door to her home. When she is finished, she realizes that the door is locked, which she did not know before installing it, and she cannot open it without a key. She decides to wait until the next day to deal with it, but things do not change so much that night. Emma wakes up from the strange knock on the other side of the door. Written and directed by Ryan Connolly, the creator of the beloved YouTube film Right, it was intended as a concept plan for a film. The film grows on the emotional value it brings beyond fear, and you feel it when Emma tries to set up a terrible tragedy. The narration is as beautiful as the story, the acting is at a high level, and it is not to be missed when the film reaches the secret things. Miss this. When a tired young man comes home from a night shift on Halloween, he stumbles upon a mysterious man dressed as a comedian who likes to do magic tricks for him. He seems to insist strongly, so the young man decides to make fun of him and goes along with it. Unfortunately, the trick is to sneak in as they move, and when he tries to escape, the young man starts a terrifying game of cat and mouse. Jester is an explosion. Director and star Colin Crowatch presents a very entertaining film. A terrifying masked opponent is incredibly glamorous, even if he doesn't speak, but you can be kind enough to love him. Things. The Joker feels like an unstoppable and mysterious force of nature, and unexpected behavior puts you on the edge of your seat as you anxiously await his next move. Due to its immense popularity, Jester simply named two successors, from the same director, as Jester, Chapter 2 and Jester, Chapter 3. They are just as functional as the first one. Enjoy. Courtesy of director Jacob Chase, this brilliant film tells the story of Joe, a car park assistant at night. Joe, who is alone in his cabin in the middle of the night, finds an old iPad in a lost and found box under his desk and decides to take the top spot. There he sees the evil story of Larry, who is depressed looking for one of his true friends who lives behind a window. As Joe reads the story, he begins to hide something outside the showroom, in the parking lot. Larry seems to be coming to see his friend. Larry is incredibly effective at how effective it feels. The complete brevity takes place within the confines of Joe's small cabin, which also acts as the only light source in the scene. Once the light starts to turn on, all bets are off. This is definitely a must. If you like it, we have good news for you. Larry has adapted the movie Complay, starring Community star Jillian Jacobs, and is set to hit theaters this Halloween. An isolated church community led by an extremist preacher captures and tortures a member. The other woman, the preacher's daughter, decides that now is the time to break free from church habits. So, she comes up with a plan. According to psychological horror, as in the sermon, several movies have left a mark on recent memories. Director Dean Packett gives the genre a unique opportunity, reminiscent of the award-winning film Ari Aster's Legacy and Midsommar. It is finished with a beautiful vineyard aesthetic. The lecture does not take any blows, and the message behind it is as scary as the movie. This incredibly clever and creepy Japanese short film was directed by Rick Koeniga, and follows the night of a young woman working on her computer at home, who grows a bit startled when the door behind her keeps opening by itself. After having to frustratingly get up to close it a few times, she becomes nervous and decides to turn on her webcam to see what exactly is happening behind her. In classic Japanese horror fashion, this film is a masterclass of rising tension, and every second feels slightly more uncomfortable than the one that came before. It uses a simple concept and exploits all of its potential in mere minutes. Given its incredible success in Japan back in 2015, Behing became the first in a series known as Alone in the House, that regroups a catalog of short films just as creepy as this one. That's it. One, only, modern classic. Lights Out follows the bitter experience of a woman getting ready to go to bed, but she dies on the track when a silhouette of the hall appears when the lights are turned off. Panicked, she turns the power switch on and off to see who it is, and she realizes that this silhouette only appears in the dark and moves only when it is not visible. This is the short film that broke the internet in 2013. Director David F. Sandberg saw his career change drastically after Lights Out in 2016, not only by getting a feature-length edition of the film, but also moving forward. Hollywood blockbusters Annabelle, Creation and Shazam. In the following years, Lights Out is widely regarded as the ultimate adventure short story, and its brilliant concept has been embraced by audiences to this day. If you have not seen it yet, do not miss it.